This is the first video for how to learn how to use the sweep command in Autodesk Inventor. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a rectangular prism. So I'm going to come up to my arrow pull down menu and I'm going to go to part, and I'm going to come up to the box command in primitives. Now if you don't see primitives, you can right click on any icon and go down to show panels and then check primitives. So I'm going to click on the box command and I'm going to click on my XY plane, and let's click on our origin as we drag out. I'm going to make something that's, let's say 8. I'll hit tab and hit 8 again and hit enter. I'll come back out and let's make that, I don't know, 8 by 8 by, let's say, I don't know, 6. And let's hit enter. And you'll notice when we take a look at the box that we have here, we want to round off these corners. We want to fillet them off. So I'm going to go up to fillet, and let's make our fillet radius a radius of 1. So I'm going to click on these corners here, and we're going to fillet off these sides. So I'm going to go ahead and say OK after we do that. We kind of have this rounded off shape. Kind of looks like a little bit of maybe like a jewelry box or something. And then in our origin tab, you're going to notice that since we went in, we should have a mid plane going down through the object. You can see these mid planes. Now if by chance you don't have a mid plane over here, you can always go up to the plane command and go down to mid plane between two planes. And you can click on one plane and on the other side. We already had that plane highlighted, so it wouldn't let me. So let's go to plane. I go to mid plane between two planes. I tap on one side and I tap on the opposite side, and it's going to go ahead and give me a plane that perfectly divides this in half. So we can go ahead and keep that, or you can use one of the planes over here on this side. And what I want you to do is you're going to right click on work plane 1 in your browser bar and go to new sketch, and it's going to flip the object this way towards you, and you're going to notice that you have the plane going down through the center of your object here. We're going to right click and go down to slice graphics, and you're going to notice by slicing graphics we can now see the interior of the object. One thing I want to do real quick is I'm going to right click on bottom and go to set current view as front, and I'm going to come up to the top right up here and I'm going to set this current view as my isometric. I'm going to go to fit to view, just so now whenever I click on that ISO I get this view. So now that we look here, I want to project the geometry of these existing lines around the outside. Right now I can't really snap to any of those lines. So I'm going to click on project geometry, and I want to go to something called project cut edges. And automatically I'm going to get these yellow lines which tell me that we have existing geometry here. I'm going to go up to the circle command up here in the top right, and we're going to click on the top right hand corner, and we're just going to make a circle that, let's say, has a diameter of 1.5, and we're going to hit enter, and we're going to say finish sketch. And you're going to notice that we have this circle out here. Now what this does is we're just going to kind of like take a router. If you're used to like woodshop terms, we're going to take a router and we're going to go around the outside and create a groove here. So what we're going to do is go up to sweep, and it's going to ask me in the sweep command for a profile, and a profile is a closed sketch, and our closed sketch is our circle. The path is going to be the line that goes around the outside. So you're going to notice that this will create an additive sweep because it's adding mass to the object. Now this looks kind of like, you know, like bumpers for the side of, I don't know, like an inflatable toy or something. But what we want to do is we want to cut around the outside. And we're going to click on the cut command and we're going to say OK. And you'll notice that I now have this groove cut around the outside. That is one of the ways that we can go about creating a sweep by cutting around the outside of an existing path that already exists. Now if that path was just 90-degree angles and was a perfect rectangle, we wouldn't be able to create that path. It would be a tougher thing to do. I want us to flip down and look at the bottom of the object, and we're going to right click on work plane 1, and we're going to take away the visibility of that sketch. And I want you to click on your pencil and click on the bottom of the object. And one of the things that we want to do is we're going to click on the line command, and I want you to come down here until you see this green dot. And that's what you just to tap once and draw a vertical line that's about this length and click. Then I want you to click and hold down on your left, the left side of your mouse. You're holding down on the left click button, and you're just going to drag until we get ourselves, you know, a little bit of a winding thing here, and I'm going to like let off, and I'm going to click again and hold down, and I want this to kind of wind around to here, and we're actually creating a little bit of this spline command. And what I want you to do is as you click, try to come back in line with this y-axis, and I'm going to let off, and I'm going to tap once, and I'm going to tap again, and I'm going to end the line at the other green dot over here. We're going to right click and say OK. I'm going to click on my house button, and we're going to flip down to the front again, and we're going to go to finish sketch. And I want you to flip up to the side view, and we can kind of look at this upside down. Notice that the bottom's on top of my view cube. I'm looking at the back, and we're going to click on our pencil, and I want you to click on the side of the object, and we're going to click on a circle, and we're going to come along here until we see the green dot show up, and I want you to draw us a small, let's say 0.35 diameter circle, and say finish sketch. Now remember, when we go into sweep, it's going to ask us for a path and a profile. Notice that it's already selected the profile. You can zoom in here and see that circle's filled in. The path is going to be that line that we just made, and you're going to notice it's going to go through that groove. Let's go ahead and cut that through, and let's say OK. Now notice that we could have drawn that line in any fashion that we wanted to, but since we drew the line, kind of at an angle, kind of a, excuse me, not an angle, a radius. We kind of made this kind of like, a windy road kind of shape. It's going to follow whatever path that we choose to put into the object. So in this video, you've been able to learn how to slice graphics in half and cut like a router on the outside of something, but also if you have like a certain groove that you want to cut into an object, you can also go about creating sweeps this way. So this has been a subtractive method from using sweeps, from subtracting mass from an existing solid.